Well, my friends, you have finished your English paper and it's been a fantastic paper. But yes, you are definitely wondering whether you've written it all correctly or not. So, here we are with your board paper solution, the complete paper, and we've taken set 2 of your English language and literature paper. You've got 3 hours and I'm sure you've already rocked it. So let's quickly go through each and every question. Section A is your reading skill passage, your first passage, and it's about pancakes. Wow! But let's tackle each question as it comes. In paragraph 1, what does the phrase "has a surprisingly long and diverse history" mean? What does that phrase mean? Look here, my dear friends. You can very, very clearly see this, right? That long and diverse history, and there is absolutely an explanation for that, right? That people were cooking pancake as food as far back as 30,000 years ago. So my answer here would be, the phrase means that pancakes have a much older and broader historical background than what people may assume. It indicates that pancakes have been part of various cultures and traditions. Even if you would just write this much, it indicates that pancakes have been part of various cultures and traditions for thousands of years, with diverse variations across the world. That's enough to get you your marks. Fantastic, my friends. Let's move on to the next question. Complete the following with the correct option from the 2 given. The uniqueness of the spongy injera is that A, it is both a savory and a sweet. B, it can be used for cooking and also for eating. Let's first find that in our passage. And here we have it, right? In Ethiopia, the spongy injera, right, became a staple food made from teff flour and used as both a plate and utensil. Extremely simple now for us to answer. It can be used for cooking and also as a plate and as a utensil for cooking. So definitely this is my correct answer, which takes me to the next question, number 3. How are American pancakes made light and fluffy? When did the American-style pancakes gain popularity? Well, my dear friends, look at this paragraph. The American version of pancakes, thick and soft, gained popularity in the 18th century. So the second part of my question is answered here. Now, how are they made light and fluffy? Can you see this? The use of baking powder made them light and airy. So, my dear friends, my answer is American pancakes are made light and fluffy due to the use of baking powder, which makes them airy and soft. These pancakes gained popularity in the 18th century. Super duper! Which makes us go ahead with the next one. State whether the following statement is true or false. Every culture has adopted the pancake and tempered it with its own ingredients, flavor, and taste. And we are supposed to look in paragraph number 3, right? And we can clearly see, right, that whether sweet or savory, thick or thin, every culture has found a way to adapt the simple food to its own taste and traditions. This is absolutely true. Terrific, my dear friends, which brings us to our next question. That is, the writer mentions fermentation process. Look at para number 4. Based on the information given in the passage, which of the following pancakes are made from the fermentation process? A, dosa appam. B, chilla thalipit. C, blinis and souffle. D. Pitta and Pratishtapta. Now, let's have a look. Right? Here we are talking about fermentation here, made from a fermented batter of rice and lentils, dosas. So dosa, adai are definitely there. But wait, I can see dosa. So, okay, option A. But where is the appam? Okay. The fermentation process adds a unique sour flavor and makes them nutritious and easy to digest. In Kerala, the appam. So my obvious answer here, my dear friends, is going to be, yes, it's going to be A, dosa and appam. 1 mark for that too. And now, select the option that best explains the phrase about pancakes being a blank canvas. Paragraph number 5. You can see this here. These pancakes are a blank canvas for toppings, waiting for a splash of fruit or a scattering of condiment. So a pancake is to an artist what a blank canvas, right, is to him. So a pancake, now where there's a pancake, you can. So my answer here would be, think, a blank pancake is just like a blank canvas where the artist can paint whatever he or she wants. Similarly, on a pancake, we can put whatever toppings we want. Strawberry, maple syrup, whatever we want, right? Chocolate, wow. So, A, like a painter starts with a blank canvas, a diner can get creative. And B, pancakes reflect the 30,000-old lineage of being the first food. No, but that's not it. This phrase, A, explains it perfectly. That's it, my dear friends. Right? Let's move on to the next. Here we go. List any 2 points from the passage that support the statement, pancakes are a timeless reminder of how food connects people. Paragraph number 6. So, we want 2 points. Let's look at the 2 points. Here we are. Pancakes are enjoyed by people across different cultures worldwide, bringing them together through a shared love for this food. You can see this through shared history, creativity. You can actually see that, right? How food connects mankind. And you can also see every pancake, regardless of its variation, reflects the culture, the traditions, and creativity of the people making it, symbolizing how food connects us all. Yes, you can see that each and every pancake, whether it's gluten-free, whichever varieties, fruits, oats, even protein, whatever it is, it shows how food connects mankind. Terrific. And here we move on to the next question. Fill in the blank with the correct option. In the line, warm, edible hugs that are a perfect comfort on a bleak day, the phrase warm, edible hugs refers to, and we are looking at paragraph number 6 again. Let's look at this. Warm, edible hugs. A perfect comfort on a bleak day. Imagine your day is not going too well, right? And emotionally, physically, you're upset. What's the best thing that can happen? Comfort food. Yes, my dear friend, the love for food. B, the pancake represents history of the region. Doesn't fit this. The choice of eating hot seeming pancakes, well, wow. The food that gives you energy? No. Warm, edible. Edible means which can be eaten. And warm means comfortable emotionally and digesting. Right? In both the ways. Absolute, a comfort food that provides a sense of emotional security is exactly what this answer is all about. And with this, my dear friends, our first unseen passage is done. Let's move on to the next one right now. So here we are with our second passage, right? Our second text. You have to read it properly, my dear friends. And now let's answer the questions. What does the use of the term active internet users convey? Active people who use internet, active people who use active internet, people who use active internet, or people who use internet actively? Yes, my dear friends, it is people who use internet actively, people who use internet often and regularly. Absolutely. Look at my second question. Select the option that is true for the assertion and reason given below. The assertion is India is home to one of the largest bases of netizens in the world. The reason is lack of awareness and a tangible gender gap lie at the heart of the matter. My dear friends, you will 100% know that both the assertion and the reason are appearing in your passage, right? The assertion is accurate as India has a large number of internet users. However, the reason, which is actually about a gender gap and lack of awareness, it does not explain why India is one of the largest bases of netizens. So, the awareness is true, the reason is also true, it is there in the passage, but the reason is not the correct explanation of the assertion, which is your option number B. The primary reason is more related to the sheer size of the population and the infrastructure development as far as internet is concerned. Moving on, identify the word that indicates that internet reach is comparatively, that word comparatively. And look at paragraph number 1, you can see the word relatively low. So comparatively, definitely the word relatively indicates that the internet reach, though significant, is still lower in comparison to other factors such as population size, means compared to the size of a population, it's still not as much, or global internet use or global internet penetration. Terrific, my friends. And the next question, based on the table, which of the following time period illustrates the most internet usage? Was it 2017 to 2020? No. 24, 28, 33, point. 2023 to 2025, we will have a look at later. See, 2020 to 2023, let's have a look. From 2020 to 23, 43.4, 46.3, 48.1, 51.5, not bad. D, 2019 to 2027. Well, 2027 is not there only. Let's leave it out. Let's take B. 2020 to 2023, we saw that. But B, 2023 to 2025. And you can see 51.5, 52.4, and still growing to 55.3, 100%. This is the correct answer, my dear friend. Terrific. From the passage, identify one reason why there are less internet users among women. Now, you can clearly see this here, right? Lack of awareness about the internet in India persists. You can see that, especially in rural areas and among women, driven by digital divide, infrastructure limitations, and a lack of perceived need for the internet. So my answer will be, the passage mentions how the digital divide and lack of awareness are significant barriers to internet adoption, especially among women in rural areas. Terrific, my friends. We proceed from here to the next one. Fill in the blanks with a suitable word given in brackets. Infrastructure limitation. Does it impede, means does it lessen, or does it make it greater, spurs digital adoption? Obviously, infrastructure limitations impedes digital adoption. That is the right answer. Moving to the next question, and complete the following with a suitable reason. An increase in the number of connections in urban areas is because of, right? Now, have a look here properly. The higher density, you can see here very easily, higher density of population leading to an increase in the number of connections. Yes, in urban areas, there is a higher density. There is more population per square kilometer than in the rural areas. This leads to an increase in the number of connections. Super! Which are the two ways to bridge the gap of digital unawareness? 2-mark answer. And here we are. You can read this. Targeted awareness campaigns and digital literacy programs are crucial to bridge the gap. Oh my God, you can actually have a word-to-word answer. So here we go. Digital literacy programs, targeted awareness campaigns. These programs and campaigns can help people, especially in rural areas, understand the importance of digital tools and how to use them. Fantastic, which brings us to the next question. In the context of the last paragraph, how does the author justify the statement, Indians have welcomed digital living with open arms? Now, just think. India has a large, and you can see year on year, it's a growing base of internet users, indicating that the population of India has embraced digital activities like shopping. Yes, everything is on our UPI platforms nowadays. Even I'm not going to name the different platforms over which we all shop. Entertainment, research, the use of smart homes. Yes, my dear friends, more than ever, Indians are showing a positive attitude towards digital living. Terrific. Well, the rest of the paper still is there to be solved. Stay with me. And now, friends, we are tackling those 20 important marks of section B, grammar and creative writing skills. Let's first take the grammar. Heads on. Here we go. The first question. You are supposed to complete any 10 of the 12 given tasks, and you get 1 mark for each task. Let's look at the first one. Of course, I'm going to solve all 12 for you. Are you ready? Here we go. Fill in the blank with the correct option to complete a message from Yogita to her friend Shobit. Dear Shobit, let's meet at 5 p.m. for the rehearsal, but I need to go home first as I blank anything since morning. My options are did not eat anything since morning. Sounds quite good. Had not eaten anything since morning. Will not sound good at all because had not is in the past perfect. A past action that has taken place before another past action. Have not eaten anything since morning also sounds good because this is the present perfect. And finally, am not eating anything since morning doesn't make sense here because it is the present continuous. So my dear friends, if I had to choose one of these two answers, A or C, which one would I choose? I did not eat anything since morning sounds grammatically correct, but wait. This is an action that started from morning and has continued till the time that she has written the message. In which case, the simple past tense will not do, my dear friends. Your answer will have to be C, which is have not eaten. Clear, my dear friends? Have you guys understood what I'm saying? Fantastic. So, let's erase this and let's move on for the next one. Here we go. Read the given sentence from a self-help book. identify the error and supply the correction in the given format. The format is error, correction. To identifying your goal is the biggest step in your success story. Now, my dear friends, if two were not to be there in the beginning, then I could have clearly said identifying your goal. I could have used the gerund. Identify is the biggest step in your success story. But I already have a two. So, my error, it's not that I have to remove a word, I have to correct a word. So, my error definitely is identifying, because with two, I need to use the V1 form or the base form, because 2 plus V1 is the infinitive. Yes, I am going to use the infinitive. So my error is identifying and my correction is identify. Now, let's read the sentence. To identify your goal is the biggest step in your success story. Yes, my dear friends. Let's move on to the next one. Here we go. Yamini asked her friend Shifa, would you like to come for my birthday party tomorrow? Report Yamini's question correctly. So, which means we are going from the direct speech to the indirect speech. One important thing that you can clearly see right now is that there is a question mark. This question mark will have to go and become a full stop. Do we all agree, everybody? Absolutely. So, my dear friends, how are we going to do that? Let's start. Yamini asked her friend Shifa, is it a WH question or a yes-no question? Sir, it's a yes-no question because I don't see a WH. Fantastic. Yamini asked her friend Shifa, if absolutely correct, she, because Shifa is a girl, she would like to go for her birthday party. Now, my birthday party becomes her. Who is this her? Yamini. The following day or the next day. Remember, words expressing distance and time or place and time are always changed, right? Therefore, tomorrow becomes the following day. Are we clear with this, my dear friend? Don't forget the full stop at the end. Please don't forget that. Absolutely. That is the right answer here. We move on to the next question. Fill in the blank by choosing the correct option to complete a newspaper clipping. The verdict is yet to come since the members of the jury is divided or are divided in their opinion. This is subject-verb agreement. What is subject-verb agreement, my dear friends? Subject singular, verb singular, subject plural, verb plural. So let's identify what is the subject here. Is the subject the jury or is the subject the members of the jury? You are right, my dear friends. It is not the jury. It is the members of the jury. Members is plural. Therefore, my only correct answer are. The verdict is yet to come since the members of the jury are divided in their opinion. If members of was not there, the members of, since the jury, then it would have been is, because all collective nouns take a singular verb. But right now, it is members, so the subject is plural, verb is plural. Next one. Read Somil's request to his mother. Can you teach me to swim? Report Somil's request by completing the following sentence correctly. Somil asked his mother. Again, remember, question mark will have to become a full stop. Remember that. Fantastic. Also remember, can will become could. Me will become him because that is Somil. So, let's report it. Somil asked his mother, since it's a question. If, because there is no WH, if exactly she could, can became could, teach him how to swim. Isn't this fantastic, my dear friends? I am sure each one of you is getting full marks so far and full marks throughout. Let's continue. Identify and correct the error in the given line taken from a critical review of a recently staged play. Recently staged. That's important. Right? Now, as an actor, Ravi Raj is superior than any other contemporary actor. Now, everybody, let's think about this. As an actor, Ravi Raj, if I write that is should become was, but wait, there is no correction there. My only corrections are, does an become the? Not possible. You don't have as the actor as an actor. And since it's before a word beginning with a vowel sound, you have an. Okay. So that's out. The next one is becoming were. No. Ravi Raj is singular. No question of plural were. The third one, then becoming two. Let's park it. And the fourth one, other becoming another. Any another. No. So the best is then becoming two. You know, then is like a discourse marker, a linker. You can't use then here. If anyway you had to use something like that, it should have been than. And even then, the correct preposition with superior is always to. So my dear friends, there is just one correct answer here, and that is, as an actor, Ravi Raj is superior to any other contemporary actor. Terrific. Moving to the next one. Complete the given line from Rules and Regulations section of a school diary. Rules and regulations. Remember that. Minimum 75% attendance is blank to appear for the final examination. Is recorded? No. This is a school diary, which means it is telling you something about the next academic year. Let's take number C. Is secured? Again past tense? No. Number D. Is obtained? Again past tense? No. There is only one thing here. Minimum 75% attendance is mandatory. Mandatory means absolutely compulsory. And that's my correct answer. Is mandatory, is compulsory, is obligatory. It has the same meaning. Eighth one. How's it going, friends? Awesome? Very good. Detect the error and supply the correction for the given newspaper report on a proposal by a member of the advisory board. After the meeting, it was obvious that most stakeholders would not support proposals. Plural. A, out. This is for singular. B, out. That is for singular. The proposals make sense. These proposals make sense. Now, just have a look at the question. Detect the error and supply the correction for the given newspaper report on a proposal by a member. Right? Now the report on a particular proposal. So I would say if my noun proposals is plural, the only correct answer is these proposals. Right, my dear friends? Moving on to the next one. Report the dialogue between a flight attendant and a passenger by filling in the blank. Did you have your dinner, sir? Yes? Thank you. The flight attendant asked the passenger, and the answer is already given to you. The next part, the passenger replied in affirmation and thanked him. So what did he ask the passenger? He asked the passenger if. Now, did you have is already in the past tense. So we will have to use the past perfect tense. So if he had, your will become his. Fantastic. This is my answer. The flight attendant asked the passenger if he had his dinner. If the passenger is of the female gender or the feminine gender, it could be the flight attendant asked the passenger if she had her dinner. That's also cool. No problems at all. Now, my dear friends, again see how the question mark has become a full stop. That's important. Correct, my dear friends? And let's move on from here to the next one. Select the correct option to complete the given sentence from the memoir of your grandparent. Grandparent, don't look at me. Okay. When I was the team captain, now you can see here, this is a modal auxiliary question. Your modal auxiliaries are can, could, will, would, shall, should, may, might, must, ought to, used to, need not, dare not. Look at the question. When I was the team captain, I, blank, often organize get-togethers to develop bonding among the teammates. That's a wonderful idea. But here, what is being expressed is a past habitual action. And there are only two options for a past habitual action. One is would and the other is used to. Used to, I can't see. But would, yes, my dear friends, I can definitely see here. When I was the team captain, I would often organize get-togethers to develop bonding among the teammates. And now, my dear friends, the second last question. Complete the given sentence about the reaction of a tourist to another by selecting the correct option. Yesterday, you loved the spicy Indian curry. Blank you, question mark. Yes, my dear friends, we are talking about question tag. Now, we've learned this one thing, that whenever we don't have an auxiliary verb or a helping verb, my question tag will be either don't, doesn't, or didn't. Don't and doesn't for the present tense and didn't for the past tense. So, my dear friends, here you are. Yesterday you loved the spicy Indian curry. Hadn't you? No. Weren't you? No. Did you? No. Didn't you? Absolutely correct as per the rules of question tags. That's amazing. And we now go on to the absolute last one in these 10 marks. 10 on 10 is what we are getting. Read the conversation between a professional writer and a school student. The student is asking, must be an interview, what prompted you to become a professional writer? And the writer is saying, my childhood library housed books of all kinds. I was fascinated with the compelling stories and wanted to create my own. Report the student's question. We are not supposed to report the answer of the writer, just the student's question. Again, we are seeing reported speech, a question. The question mark has to become a full stop, which is mandatory. This time, there is a WH, so I won't use if or whether. I shall clearly say, the student asked the writer what had prompted him to become a professional writer. And my answer is, as I've told you, the student asked the writer what had prompted him. Because if it's past tense, it has to become past perfect tense to become a professional writer. Full stop at the end. That's it. You are scoring 10 on 10. And yes, now we will go on with creative writing. So here we are, my friends, with creative writing skills. Now, attempt any one. Of course, we are going to do both. You are Raksha Rakesh. You are a school counselor of a leading public school in Pune. Now, in the past few months, you have seen a lot of bullying, a lot of reporting happening regarding bullying in school. This is leading to poor mental health and is becoming a matter of grave concern. Write a letter to the principal highlighting the need to conduct workshops on socio-emotional learning to spread awareness and promote a positive school culture. Suggest that parents can be involved to help and implement such programs. So basically, we want to write about something, a program in which we can have a bridging the gap sort of between the parents and the students, between the students who bully and the students who are the recipients or the victims of bullying. Guys, let's start. So here we are. Look at the letter. Raksha or Rakesh, depending upon which gender you want to choose. I've just given a fictitious name, Ajax or Ajax, World School, Kothurud, Pune, fictitious pin code, date. Now, the principal, you could write today's date, my dear friends. No problems. Here. The principal, Ajax or Ajax World School, Sector 45, Kothurud, whatever, Pune, whichever pin code. Subject, request for conducting workshops on socio-emotional learning. So you can see the format. Sender's address, to address, subject. Now, dear sir or madam, I wish to bring to your attention a pressing issue regarding the mental well-being of our students. As you can see, we have taken this a lot from what was given to us in the question. In the past few months, there has been an alarming increase in the number of children reporting bullying incidents within the school. Again, we have taken it from the question. To address this, I propose that we conduct workshops on socio-emotional learning. Can you see that? We are taking it directly from the subject. And promote a positive school culture where students feel valued and supported. The workshops could include activities to help children manage stress, build self-confidence, and foster a sense of empathy. What is empathy, my dear friend? Empathy is not sympathy. Empathy means I feel what you feel. If you are being bullied, I can feel the pain, right? I also suggest that parents be actively involved because many characteristics, many traits are learnt at the home environment too, as they play a crucial role in supporting the children at home. I look forward to your support in organizing these workshops and making a positive impact on our school environment. Yours sincerely, yours truly, yours faithfully, Raksha or Rakesh, school counselor. Clear? That was wonderful. Let's look at the next one. Here we go. You are Sharon or Suresh, an active member of the RWA, the Residents Welfare Association of Sunshine Colony. You have observed that the community parks are poorly maintained, with broken benches and uneven walking tracks. There are piles of garden waste which have become breeding grounds for mosquitoes and other vermin. Even the pavements and colony roads are full of potholes leading to accidents and injuries. Write a letter to the editor of a local daily expressing your views on the role of civic authorities in the maintenance of local infrastructure. Yes, my dear friends, local infrastructure is the responsibility of the municipal authorities or the civic authorities. Let's write this letter. Here we go. Either Sharon or Suresh Pillai, Sunshine Colony, Mumbai, or whichever address you deem fit. Date, whichever date you deem fit. The editor, Mumbai City Today, Churchgate, whichever newspaper you deem fit. Mumbai, whatever you could write, the Times of India, the Indian Express, whatever. Subject, concerns regarding poor infrastructure maintenance in the community. Again, you can see a formal letter. Again, you can see the format. And now, dear sir or madam, you're writing to the editor. I'm writing to express my concern regarding the poor condition of infrastructure in our locality, particularly in Sunshine Colony area. The community parks are in a dilapidated state with broken benches, uneven walking tracks. These paths are not only unsafe but also inconvenient. Additionally, there are piles of garden waste scattered around which have become breeding grounds for mosquitoes and other pests. The condition of the roads is no better, with numerous potholes that pose a risk of accidents and injuries, especially during the monsoon season. The Residents Welfare Association or the RWA has already brought this matter to the attention of local authorities several times, but no action has been taken thus far. Thank you for your attention to this matter. I trust that the necessary steps will be taken at the earliest. Yours sincerely, Sharon, Suresh Pillai, committee member, RWA, Sunshine Colony. This is perfect. You could maybe contract or condense this, but this is how you would write it. Yes. And now we move on to the next question in creative writing skills, and that is analytical paragraph. Improvements in sports infrastructure with a focus on multi-purpose sustainable facilities as well as the integration of technology along with a grassroots-centric approach is the key to bring Indian athletes on the world stage. So, what are we saying here? Multi-purpose sustainable facilities. You just can't have a cricket stadium everywhere. Cricket stadium, gym, swimming pool, tennis court, badminton court, table tennis, everything. Athletics, track and field, discus throw, javelin throw, you name it. Everything. And this should be combined with an integration of technology, right? And a grassroots-centric approach. Catch them young. Catch them from the grassroots. This is a key to bring Indian athletes on the world stage. Now, an analytical paragraph on the above statement in about 120 words, expressing your views on how improved infrastructure can help Indian athletes win accolades, prizes and medals for the nation. Here we go. Let's write it. This would be my analytical paragraph. Improved sports infrastructure plays a crucial role in developing athletes and strengthening a nation's global presence in sports. A sustainable, multi-purpose approach to facilities, supported by modern technology, ensures better training opportunities. Today we have got to see everything, at what speed the ball is being hit, in which direction is the batsman playing the ball more, or in hockey or in football, right? Exactly at what angle does the kick curve into the goal? All this is important. Technology is very important here also. Focusing on grassroots development is essential to identify and nurture talent from an early age, creating a strong foundation for future success. Now, emphasis on quality infrastructure. It provides access to advanced equipment, enhancing overall performance. Improved accessibility, especially in rural areas, where people are still playing on uneven grounds, right? And people are still playing barefoot, right? It encourages wider participation and promotes sports as a viable career option. The integration of performance tracking and scientific training methods further boosts athlete efficiency. Yes, performance tracking and scientific training methods, right from diet of a sports person to the entire training. Yes, it all has to be scientific and technologically advanced. Overall, investing in sports infrastructure will foster excellence, increase international achievements, and build a competitive sporting culture throughout India, nationwide. That's it. Fantastic. Wait, and here we go to the next one. This is the option. Read the following details about the characteristics of the Indian startup ecosystem. What is a startup? Yes, my dear friends, a startup is a company that's just getting on its first legs in the economy of India. Yes. So, one of the most vibrant and largest in the world, drives innovation across various fields, brings unique solutions to major challenges, both domestic and international, has entered various fields, healthcare, e-commerce, agriculture, my dear friends, even education, but it's not given here. Supported by funding and government initiatives. In about 120 words, analyze the future of startups in India, considering factors that have supported its growth in the country. Focus on aspects of the need, benefits, and support needed for these startups. Here we go. Let's start. This is the way I would write it. The Indian startup ecosystem is one of the largest and most dynamic in the world. contributing significantly to innovation and economic growth. Have you seen that we have taken the first 2 points? Startups in India offer unique solutions. We are taking the third point to challenges in sectors such as healthcare, agriculture, and e-commerce, addressing both domestic and global needs. Now, strong government initiatives, ease of doing business reforms, and increased access to funding have accelerated their growth. Look at the fifth point. We are there. These startups generate employment, promote technological advancement, and boost entrepreneurship among the youth. Yes, today's youth don't want to work for somebody else. They actually want to do something on their own. See, when you work for somebody, what do? You feed your family. When you create your own startup, what do? You feed many families. Fantastic. However, sustained growth requires continuous policy support, skill development, and improved digital infrastructure. With the right balance of innovation, investment, yes, funding is required, and mentorship, yes, guidance is also required, Indian startups can drive long-term economic development and strengthen India's position in the global market. Would not this be perfect for your full marks? Now, wait and watch for the next 40 marks. Yes, my dear friend. So, my friends, now after finishing section A, section B, here we are with the 40 marks. Yes, 50% of the paper. Section C, the literature. Fantastic. Let's move on. Let's start. The first extract, as you can see, is from Nelson Mandela's chapter, Long Walk to Freedom. What is the tone Nelson Mandela is unlikely to have used in his speech? So, here we are. Let me read the speech for you. We have at last achieved our political emancipation. We pledge ourselves to liberate all our people from the continuing bondage of poverty, deprivation, suffering, gender, and other discrimination. Never, never, and never again shall it be that this beautiful land will again experience the oppression of one by another. The sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. This is the extract or the excerpt of a speech. Now, is the tone inspirational? Definitely. So, A cannot be unlikely. It is definitely there. Is the tone assertive? Yes. B is also right. He is not saying may, can. He is definitely assertive. Let's look at D. Is the tone direct? Absolutely. So the only tone which is unlikely is C, conflicted. Is there any conflict here? Or is it basically bringing all the people together, the blacks and the whites? So conflicted is unlikely to have been used by Nelson Mandela in his speech. According to Mandela, emancipation is not merely political. Elaborate. Emancipation, freedom. Is it only that you drive away the people who are oppressing your freedom? Or is it a social, political, cultural awakening? Isn't it about no more discrimination? Exactly. And that's what my answer should be. Freedom is not only political independence, but freedom from poverty, suffering, deprivation, all types of discrimination like gender discrimination, racial discrimination, all other forms of injustice. True emancipation means equality, dignity, and of course, better living conditions for all people of a nation. This would be the best answer for your 2 marks. Moving on, my dear friends, with the next one, a 1-mark question. Fill in the blanks. Mandela's speech swings between references to the past and a bleak future, a hopeless future, or a hopeful, a promising future. No 2 guesses. It's 100% the past and a promising future. And my last question here. With reference to the extract, explain the sentence, the sun shall never set on so glorious a human achievement. Which means, obviously, the sun shall never set is a metaphor here, meaning that such a historic achievement will be remembered forever and ever. So, Mandela means that achieving freedom and equality without oppression, much like how India had done it, is a great and a historic achievement for humanity, and its importance will last forever. The sun shall never set, in other words. Fantastic. And let's move on to the next question, my dear friends. And this is the B. And the first question is so amazing. Elementary, my dear Omega. What is think tank's tone? Elementary, my dear Watson, was the tone that and the words that Sherlock Holmes would use when he wanted to literally show off his intelligence to Mr. Watson. And so, that tone is not an admonishing tone. No. It's not like insulting him or something. It's not ironic. It's not sarcastic or ironic. It is patronizing. What is a patronizing tone? That you are seeming to imply that you are trying to help somebody, at the same time showing your superiority. Elementary, my dear Omega. It's so simple, like how come you cannot get it? That way. And now for 2 marks. Why does Omega call think tank great and mighty? Because that's what he says, right? He bows low and says perhaps the great and mighty think tank will give us the benefit of his thought on the matter. Yes. And the answer is, he calls think tank great and mighty because think tank is the ruler of Mars, the planet Mars, and considers himself extremely intelligent. Omega, that is she, flatters him out of both respect and fear. Exactly. 2 marks for that. Moving on to the next one. 1 mark for filling in the blank. After viewing the book closely, think tank concludes that Earth creatures enjoy eating food or dislike eating food. My dear friends, read this properly. He says Earth creatures are always eating. The place in which you find yourselves is undoubtedly a crude refreshment stand. It's very clear. Earth creatures like you and me, we love, yes, we enjoy. That's the right option. We enjoy eating food, right? And my next question, why does Oop open the book and put it on his head? He actually feels, he feels that these books are hats, right? And that's why he puts it on his head. He doesn't know it's supposed to be red, so he puts it on his head. So here's my answer. Oop opens the book and puts it on his head because he thinks it's a hat. He thinks all books are hats. Wow. And now, let's go to the next question. The first option, Robert Frost with Fire and Ice. He says, some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I have tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction, ice is also great and would suffice. So, according to Robert Frost, fire refers to, see, some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favor fire. So obviously, according to Robert Frost, fire refers to desire. Terrific, my dear friends. That was really cool. Why does the poet believe both fire and ice can destroy the world equally? Now, this is your 2-mark question. And your answer is, yes, too much of desire is obviously wrong for the world. It's obviously going to destroy the world. Uncontrolled desire. I want this and that and that. Yes, unparalleled greed will destroy the world. At the same time, hatred, cruelty will also destroy the world. So very, very simple. The poet believes both fire and ice can destroy the world because uncontrolled desire can lead to unparalleled greed and destruction, while hatred can also cause cruelty and extreme destruction. We've heard of genocides. That's what hatred causes. Terrific. Let's move on to the next one. In the line, but if it has to perish twice, it refers to what? Okay, let's start. Some say the world will end in fire. So, but if it had to perish, which means end twice, so obviously it refers to the world. Absolutely fantastic. And now, coming to a very, very good question on the rhyming scheme. Select the option with the same rhyme scheme as lines in stanza 1. So let's see the rhyming scheme in stanza 1 first. Ice is A. Desire does not rhyme with A, so I'll call it B. But fire, right, rhymes with desire, so it's B. So it's A, B, B. Now let's check. Away is A, still is B, say is A. Wrong, doesn't fit. Numbers is A, dream is B, slumbers is A. Wrong, doesn't fit. I want ABB, not ABA. Dog chase the ball down the lane is A, speed is B, glee is B. No, glee doesn't rhyme with either A or B, so glee is C. Yes! And now finally, the sun is high. A, the clouds drift past. B, in the blue sky which is so vast. B, A, B, B. The only one which has an A, B, B similar to this one is definitely option number D. How easy was that? Which brings us to our next option. What is the most likely reason the poet uses the word nonplus instead of confused? Now, nonplus. Okay, by the way, which poem are we doing? How to Tell Wild Animals. So let's read this stanza. Though to distinguish beast of prey, a novice might nonplus. The crocodile you always may tell from the hyena thus. Hyenas come with merry smiles, but if they weep, they are crocodiles. I mean, if somebody smiles, can I call that person or that animal a hyena? And if somebody is always crying, a crocodile? So, nonplus is actually meaning confused. But why use nonplus? That's the question. Very easy, my dear friends. In other words, elementary, my dear friends. Nonplus rhymes with thus, plus thus. And that's why the poet uses the word nonplus instead of confused to maintain the rhyme scheme and the rhythm. I mean, a novice might be confused. The rhythm is gone. Rhyme scheme is also gone. It also adds a humorous and formal tone. Fantastic. Moving on from here. Explain the irony in the last two lines. What is irony? What is said and what is meant are two opposite things. So, hyenas come with merry smile. Hyenas are carnivorous animals. They eat flesh. Why would they smile? But yes, the hyena's sound is very much like a child's laugh. And that's why hyenas come with merry smile. On the other hand, when somebody cries and you know that that person is putting up an act, what do you say? I can see that you are having crocodile tears, means false tears. So that's why the irony in the last two lines is that hyenas smile while crocodiles weep. Normally, smiling shows happiness and weeping shows sadness. But here these expressions are misleading and help identify dangerous animals. My dear friends, can you look at that? What an easy answer. You could, of course, elaborate by talking about crocodile tears, right? And the smiling, laughing hyena. Okay, let's go for this 1 mark answer. The word novice signifies a or an. Tell me, what does novice signify? an inexperienced person. A person who is not experienced in being able to distinguish one animal from the other is called a novice. Terrific. Now, look at the last question here. What kind of atmosphere is created through these lines? Select the options. 1 is humorous, 2 is mysterious, 3 is aggressive, means very, very attacking, 4 is confusing. Oh, I can always see the word non-plus right here, right? And 5 is fearful. Any of these lines creating fear? No. Confusing? Yes, we are already there. Aggressive? No. Do they seem very attacking and violent? No. Mysterious? Are we talking about some spirits or something? Obviously not. Humorous? Yes. Of course they are funny, these lines. Like to differentiate a hyena from a crocodile, if the one is crying, of course we can see a crocodile and say this is a crocodile, and we can see a hyena and say it's a hyena. So yes, humorous definitely. Yes, confusing definitely. So if I look at my options, the only correct option is A, which is 1 and 4. Terrific, my dear friends. Don't go away, we are continuing. And well, here we are. Answer any 4 of the following 5 questions in about 40 to 50 words each. 3 marks for each answer. Of course, we are going to answer all 5 for you. So, explain the irony in Lencho blaming the postmaster for stealing money. This is from A Letter to God. Imagine the postmaster thinks that Lencho has such faith in God, and such faith should never go unrewarded. So he actually helps Lencho, but he can only help him to a certain extent and not give him all the money that Lencho had asked for. But what does Lencho think? Exactly, the irony lies in Lencho blaming the postmaster and his staff for stealing the money, whereas they were the ones who generously collected and sent the money to him after reading his letter to God. Though Lencho had deep faith in God, he suspects humans, highlighting the irony here, right? Imagine having such deep faith that God can do no wrong, and at the same time, such strong suspicion for human beings who actually tried to help him out. Crazy, but true. Next question. Support with textual evidence that the poem, The Trees, symbolizes emotion and exhaustion. My dear friend, the lines, the forest that was empty all these days, and the roots work all night. Look at these 2 lines. Both symbolize 2 different things. One, emotion, right? Lot of emotion. The emptiness is now being filled up. These lines suggest that suppressed feelings are now struggling to break free, right? But all this breaking free is not going to create just a physical exhaustion and tiredness, but also an emotional tiredness and strain. So, the lines, the forest that was empty all these days and the roots work all night, symbolizes emotion and exhaustion. These lines suggest suppressed feelings struggling to break free, creating a sense of tiredness and emotional strain. Okay, explain with examples why the poet uses allusions in the poem Amanda. First of all, what is an allusion? Right? A comparison, a reference. And what are the allusions that the poet uses? Mermaid, orphan, Rapunzel with that long hair. Right? The poet uses allusions such as mermaid, orphan, Rapunzel in the poem Amanda. Why does she use them? She used allusions to show Amanda's desire for freedom and escape from the constant scolding and nagging of her parent, her mother. Now, why would, just imagine, let me give you an example. Rapunzel, for example, she was held captive in that tower and she also wanted to escape. In the same way, Amanda wants to escape from the constant scolding and nagging. These allusions showcase her imagination and contrasts it, absolute opposite, with her restricted real life. So, Amanda escapes into a world of dreams and fantasy. Right. Describe the physical appearance of Mijbil the otter. And this is from Mijbil the otter. So, I think it's going to be super simple. Mijbil resembled most of all a very small, medievally conceived dragon. Very small. From the head to the tip of the tail, he was coated with symmetrical pointed scales of mud armor, between whose tips was visible a soft velvet fur like that of a chocolate brown mole. This is the physical description of Mijbil the otter. And now, during her journey, Valli, you already know which story this is, Madame. Okay, that's French. Madam rides the bus. Valli absorbed the natural beauty and clapped her hands in happiness on seeing a young cow running very fast. What does this reveal about Valli? Okay, excitement, first of all, at seeing the young cow, and it shows her innocence, curiosity, and childlike joy. See, today, if I were to see a cow blocking my bus or blocking the traffic, running in front of it, I would be exasperated, frustrated, angry, thinking, why? I need to reach a particular place on time. Why is this cow in front? But I'm wrong. I'm absolutely wrong, because I've lost my innocence and childlike joy. She enjoys simple sights during her first bus journey, revealing her lively imagination and her energetic and enthusiastic nature. Absolutely. Right? Now, again 3 marks each. Describe the role of the balcony in the story, The Midnight Visitor. Same. Answer 2 out of 3 this time. 3 marks each. The Midnight Visitor. I hope you remember the story, my guys. Yes, the balcony plays a crucial role in creating suspense as Ozable cooks up a story around it to escape from Max. Max believes that it is his escape route and threatens Ozable with a gun. However, Ozable cleverly tricks him. See, Ozable never looked like a detective. He didn't look like James Bond or something like that. But he cleverly tricks him into jumping from the window, making the balcony as important as any other character to the story's unexpected twist. Right, my dear friends? Moving to the next question. Explain why Anil chose to overlook the breach of trust. Breach of trust means somebody breaking your trust in spite of being aware of it. Yes, the very fact that Anil gave the narrator a wet note, a damp note the next morning, it was sure that he knew what had happened. He knew that the narrator had run away, but he also knew that the narrator had come back. That, my dear friends, is how we shall write this answer. Anil chose to overlook the breach of trust because he understood Hari Singh's remorse, his guilt, his feeling sorry. He was also aware that he was not paying Hari Singh anything. So Anil decided, instead of punishing him, Anil decided to reform him through kindness and education. My dear friend, punishment is not the answer every time. Forgiveness is always better than punishment, especially when the person who has done something wrong is actually and truly sorry for what he or she has done. He believed trust and compassion could transform the young thief into a better, well-educated person. Which brings us to our last question here. Who did the teacher compare herself with when she sees the transformed version of Boli? Why did she feel so? Yes, this is from the story Boli. And yes, Boli's teacher felt like an artist, admiring her masterpiece. Imagine somebody who is a great sculptor, spends hours and days and months and years creating a masterpiece, or maybe even a painter. When that masterpiece is appreciated, the pride that somebody feels is almost the pride that the artist feels is almost like the pride of a parent whose child has gone and done great things for humanity. She felt like an artist admiring a masterpiece. Watching Boli assert her dignity at the wedding, the teacher realized her efforts were successful in shaping Boli's transformation, just like an artist perfecting creation. Superb, my dear friends. And now, let's have a look at the 6-mark questions. The first question is just super. Explain the similarities and differences between the tiger in A Tiger in the Zoo and the dragon in The Tale of Custard the Dragon. So, let's start. The tiger in A Tiger in the Zoo and the dragon in The Tale of Custard the Dragon represent misunderstood strength. The first thing, the tiger is trapped in the zoo, while the dragon feels he's a coward. The tiger is trapped in the zoo, in a cage, while the dragon feels he's a coward, just because everybody thinks of him that way. The tiger is physically strong but helpless in captivity, pacing silently in his cage in quiet anger, longing for freedom. In contrast, Custard appears cowardly in the beginning, but proves his valor, proves his courage when danger arises in the form of the pirate who enters Belinda's house. Now, while the tiger's strength and power are suppressed by human control in the form of a cage, Custard's courage is hidden beneath the mockery of the other pets. All of them make fun of him. All of them. The tiger evokes sympathy and highlights the cruelty of confinement. A wild animal belongs to the jungle, not to a cage. On the other hand, the dragon adds humor and irony by revealing that true bravery often lies beneath a timid exterior. Yes, as they say, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Absolutely, my dear friends. And let's look at the next one. A beautiful question. The Sermon at Banaras and For Anne Gregory deal with the themes of love and life discussed. Yes, we all know about the Sermon at Banaras. How the great Buddha, the sage, the Lord, guides Kissa Gautami. And of course, we all know about For Anne Gregory. So let's write down this answer. Let's have a look at how we should write this answer. The Sermon at Banaras and For Anne Gregory. In the Sermon at Banaras and For Anne Gregory, the themes of love and life are explored differently. The Sermon at Banaras teaches that life is full of suffering due to attachment, right? And due to not having the knowledge that one has to die. The body will decay. And that true peace comes from detachment and wisdom. It shows how spiritual understanding can help man take control over emotional grief. If you know that whoever is born has to perish, that is spiritual understanding. For Anne Gregory, this poem questions superficial love based on physical beauty. So there is a parallel here, isn't it? That even there, physical beauty or not, the body has to perish. Here, superficial love based on physical beauty and suggests that true love should value inner qualities. It is the inner that you should love and not the outer. Both works emphasize a deeper understanding. One about accepting life's realities and the other about recognizing genuine love beyond outward appearances. And here, my friends, is the second last question. Didn't we enjoy this paper? Fantastic. Yes, evaluate how a triumph of surgery is a lesson in thoughtful parenting. You will say parenting? But there were no children here. Oh, of course, there was that small little pet. Tricky. Absolutely. This is a 6-mark question, and let's write down the answer to get all these 6 marks. A triumph of surgery is a lesson in thoughtful parenting. As we see how Mrs. Pumphrey, excessive love and indulgence makes Tricky unhealthy and bloated. Love is good. Pampering is not. Yes, she being extremely loving overfeeds him with what is not healthy for him and ignores proper care, believing pampering is love and affection. However, Dr. Harriet's disciplined treatment, balanced diet, exercise, and natural routine helped Tricky's timely recovery. Otherwise, it could have been fatal for Tricky. The story shows that true care and love require responsibility and restraint. Yes, not overindulgence and pampering, not blind indulgence. Thoughtful parenting involves setting limits for a child's well-being, just like Dr. Harriet did for Tricky. Great, my dear friends, which brings us to our last question. Are you ready for this? Evaluate how the necklace critiques the obsession with appearances and social status. We all know what happened in the necklace, right? It was Madame Loisel, Mathilde, who was craving for a life of luxury. And for that, what did she do? She actually borrowed her best friend's necklace. So, let's get the answer. The necklace critiques society's obsession with appearances and status. Mathilde Loisel longs for luxury and admiration, feeling dissatisfied with a modest and simple life. To appear wealthy at a party, yes, just for that, she borrows a necklace from her friend. Wealthy, attractive, stylish, she wants to appear. And she later loses that necklace. Instead of being honest, instead of being truthful, instead of telling a friend that, she lies. And she and her husband end up buying a necklace, a very expensive necklace, to save her face. Now, this couple spends years repaying debts for a replacement that they bought, only to learn after 10 long years of suffering, poverty, that the original necklace was in reality a fake. The story highlights the dangers of pride, vanity, and materialism in life. It shows how the desire to own things to impress others can lead to unnecessary suffering and wasted years. Teaching the value of two things. Honesty, yes, she could have been honest and told a friend. And more important, contentment. She should have been just happy with how she is and where she is. My dear friends, I hope you've enjoyed this. We've solved the entire paper for you. I'm sure you are going to get full marks, the best marks possible. Love and God bless you all.